Hello, welcome everyone to this new video, and in this video we are going to make that puffer jacket, which I already told in the last video that we will be making that. And yes, for this I'm again taking the already made shirt from the library, which is already there in Marvelous Designer, so you don't have to make the basic patterns again and again, because there is no point. Once you know the basic understanding of at least a shirt pattern, you can just directly go ahead and use it to make whatever upper body garment if you want. And this thing, what I'm doing is I'm just deactivating the swing and the pattern itself and then hiding it, so that while making the overall structure, or like the base of the puffer jacket, that doesn't collide in the simulation. And as you can see that right now I have frozen all the below clothing layers, because let's say when you're working in different layers of the clothing, it's a good idea to at least freeze it, or you can also deactivate the patterns or sewing in some cases, so that it won't actually create problems for your layering of the garment or like clothing. So you can see that this is the same kind of structure which was there already, because I made a hoodie below this, and now with the reference of the hoodie I'm kind of making the puffer jacket. You can understand that the basic patterns of a shirt, a jacket, or mostly all of the upper body garments are kind of same. So you just have to understand the fitting what you are getting while making the whole dress. Like in the previous video I was continuously again and again saying that in clothing you don't have to remember shortcuts, or you don't have to remember tools, everything. You don't have to know that. That is very basic. You can just get hang of it in 2 hours or 1 hour. But the thing is, once you understand the fitting, you will definitely nail Marvelous Designer. It's not about learning software, it's about mostly understanding how to fit a certain cloth onto a body, and how in real life we usually look at the patterns. That is how we are going to stitch in Marvelous Designer. And little bit here and there are tweaks, but not every time we have to make a big tweak. There are few differences in the making of a real garment, whole clothing, or and in Marvelous one there are a few differences, but majorly if you can see the patterns in the real world, like real clothing, then you can easily transform them into a Marvelous Designer or Glow kind of software. That is very easy, but it will take little bit of time. But once you get hang of it, it will be like second nature, that yeah, this pattern is getting stitched like this, so I have to make it like this. In this case, puffer jacket has those puffed things, and for those we have to put internal lines, so that it's like a stitching lines, internal stitching lines. And the tool is already mentioned on the top. If you hover over the tool, you will see that those options will automatically tell you like what those tools are about. And that is how I learned. Actually, I watched tutorials and I just tried, and I just got some feedbacks, and then yeah, it was fairly easy, not that hard. Once you start learning any 3D software, it's much easier to learn learn Marvelous Designer instead of a 3D software. I'm not saying that it's very easy, but yeah, it will take less time to get adapted to once you understand the real fabric, or like real stitching practices which are done in the real clothing. So like you can see that the below hoodie is frozen, and the top part I have pulled it up and deactivated it. For the pockets, I have already created a kind of square shape which is on the side, and I just stitched it inside. When we are going to process this for a game character, then at that time we don't need that inside part. We can delete it. But for now I'm kind of making a full clothing, so I thought of just making it, because in game characters whatever is not visible we usually delete it, because that is how we are maintaining the polygon count. So right now for this puffing thing, we are playing with the pressure. So first, the below layer I tried with minus pressure, and the above layer I tried with plus pressure, plus amount. You can play with the amount. I'm not saying that the exact number will work for you, but you can try and play with it. When I started learning Marvelous Designer, this was the first option which I was playing with again and again, because you can see dynamically whatever is changing on the viewport, and it's very kind of encouraging, or like inviting to just see whatever you are doing and it's happening right now, like in the front of you. So we are almost done with our puffer jacket. Now you will see that how it is fitting with other clothes, like with a hoodie, with the other underneath clothing, how it's fitting. And if, let's say, some parts needs improvement, some parts needs extra adjustment, then you can put internal lines, and with those internal lines you can stitch some external patterns, and this whole dressing can be completed. But if you are getting confused at any space, I would recommend to just going to a mall and just seeing real clothing, that how that clothing is made. Then it will be very much easy for you to just translate that exact thing into Marvelous Designer. So it will be more like you are seeing the real clothing and then taking references, or you can just collect references. That is also a good way. But seeing a clothing in real time or real life, it will give you a like 100 times much better experience than just picking some references and making it. Because once I did this when I was making this leather jacket character, which is on my art session. For that character, I went to a mall and I just looked at a bunch of leather jackets, how that jacket pattern is, and yeah, I understood that. Yeah, okay, how is stitched. I took photograph at that very moment, that this is what I need, exact part where I'm getting stuck, and I just explored it. Like, it's easy to learn Marvelous Designer. I will be soon making a tutorial for beginners, like a 2 or 5 minute video for Marvelous Designer beginners. It's very easy, and yeah, you will easily get hang of it. And if you need any help or any queries related to Marvelous Designer, I'm not exactly pro at it, but yeah, I know that some basic tools can give you really good results. And here I have not used a lot of tools, and they are like just basic tools: how to stitch it, how to make internal lines, how to make patterns, and how to apply pressures. That's it. There are 1-2 settings more, like width and waft. That is also simple. It's not tool heavy software. It's like understanding the fitting. I'm again repeating, understanding the fitting of the cloth. If you get that right, you are on the good path for creating good garments. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the new videos. See you soon in the next video, and yeah, keep learning. Whenever you feel like asking anything, drop a comment below. Stay tuned. Bye bye.